What is up, squad? Please drop it in the chat if you cannot hear me. I recorded a 30-minute live stream last time and had no sound. So let's try to avoid that this time. So thumbs up, thumbs down if you can hear me. Appreciate you stopping by. So as you know, why we are here, we have to talk about the craziest trade in the history of my life in Luka Doncic for AD, Anthony Davis, if you don't know. I legitimately thought I was being punked. So a friend of mine who doesn't even follow sports reached out to me and was like, "Did you see the trade?" And I was playing Madden, so I didn't know literally anything. I had no clue, and I literally Googled Lakers. I literally Googled Lakers and I saw what it said, and I was legitimately just shocked. Like I have no idea how, what the thought process was behind that. But we're gonna break it all down here today. So the reason that I'm saying that you're wrong about this trade is that not only is it confusing, right? Like it doesn't make sense, but if you think that anyone except the Los Angeles Lakers won this trade, you could not be more wrong. I, for the life of me, cannot understand the idea that things would be so bad that they would move on from Luka. I mean, we are talking about a generational talent, top 5 guy in the league, potentially 5 or 8, whatever you want to say, right? AD is still legendary in the chat. Is crazy. Also, say hello to Rue. Rue is making a special appearance here. Rue, say hello. Say hi. Say hi to the people. Yeah, she's camera shy. Anyway, so let's get on track. So there are going to be people who think that somehow Dallas made the right decision on this. You, for the life of you, you do not move on from Luka Doncic in any situation. You were in the NBA Finals last season, which is nothing to scoff at, in the Western Conference. And so word from the reports is that the Dallas Mavericks actually reached out to no one else except for the Los Angeles Lakers because they wanted Anthony Davis. So when I called my dad last night at midnight my time and talked to him about this, he was like, if you're upset about Luka being in shape, if you're upset or not being in shape, if you're upset about that and you're upset about him having soft tissue injuries and not being available, right? Or being disengaged on the defensive side of the ball, what are you getting with Anthony Davis? Let's see here. I'm looking in the chat. Yeah. That guy who broke the trade to me. Yeah. His name's Kevin. He said this trade is diabolical, and this guy doesn't do much besides League of Legends and Mario Kart. So, yeah, I mean, for him to say that is really letting you know that things are crazy. So, back on track. So basically, you are getting basically a worse offensive player. You're getting when you're on Dallas' side, you're getting a worse offensive player. You might get some defensive possessions where he wants to check in, but we know historically, Anthony Davis, he might not even be checked in the freaking playoffs. And now we're gonna take ourselves out of championship contention. We're going to take ourselves out of championship contention, essentially, and put it on 2 stars in Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, who could be some of the most unreliable folks in the league. I mean, these guys are getting up there late in their career. Luka Doncic is 25 years old. This guy is not even in his athletic prime yet. And if you don't think that LeBron and JJ Redick are going to get this guy in shape and he's not going to learn how to be a pro, you're sorely mistaken, because Luka and LeBron have that relationship where they both look up to each other. So LeBron has called Luka his favorite player in the NBA. So that is not something that is going to go unnoticed by us. One of the top analysts on ESPN said that Dallas won the trade. Put it in. I mean, what are we smoking? What are we on? There's literally no way. There's no way. Anthony Davis, the Lakers were probably very happy to move on from him. This is a situation in Dallas where they're upset. They're upset about, him probably pissing off, constantly pissing off the refs, and they can't get this guy the reins on him. But I don't see a world. I do not see a world where Anthony Davis is an improvement. I understand the sentiment that okay, we don't want to pay this guy a max contract. We think we're going to lose him in free agency. Then that makes sense. But do not fall under the illusion that makes them a championship contender. Like, I'm not sure Kyrie's in a place in his career right now where he's used to carrying the ball, right? Like dribbling the ball the entire time. And apparently a big part of this trade for Anthony Davis, who apparently is happy about this, is that he, quote unquote, doesn't want to play center. So now he'll be able to play power forward. So in terms of that makes sense. But I just, for the life of me, can't understand the idea that we're gonna take Luka, best player who's come into the league in the last 7 to 10 years, right? One of the best guys, that, we're gonna call one team and it's gonna be the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis. I mean, you better kick the tires on Jaylen Brown before you do that, right? Like in Boston. I get it. They won their chip. You don't think that they're willing to maybe have a conversation for Luka? I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, they must have been very, very fed up. Very fed up. Let's take a look in the chat here. So we have some folks who are clearly going through something. They say MJ's the GOAT. So do you think this is going to break power rankings? What if Braun and Luka butt heads? No synergy. Okay, this is fair. I would say, I'll be honest. When Kyrie went to Dallas, I didn't believe in that trade. I didn't think it was going to work. I think obviously the first year it really didn't work and they figured it out in the second half. But that was also with a much better team in the second year. So as far as the whole LeBron and Luka butting heads, like, I think that LeBron is still a formidable player. He's not the player he was. LeBron stans such as myself like have to come to that realization, and that's okay. Something in my throat. Hold on here. So LeBron knows, like, if there's one thing LeBron has is like a ton of self-awareness with teammates, and he knows that he is on like more than the back like end of his career. And so I think he's in a place where he's probably pretty happy to hand over the keys to Luka, but probably not before Luka gets in shape, right? Like LeBron is going to probably make him earn that. Like he's not going to just roll over and say, "Oh, Luka, you've done great things in this league so far." I mean, I'm not sure that the LeBron is going to let that slide, right? Like it's still time for Luka to get a new contract. the Lakers are still going to want to see something, but to me, there's really nothing Luka can do. Like, he's really that good. Like, I don't know how to explain it, right? Like, if you're someone who's not watching it, you might think, oh, this is a big trade. Like, no, this is like the trade of my lifetime. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, it's really that big of a deal. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think the outlook. I think that the Lakers got much better last night. I don't think there's a question about that. I think Dallas is now accepting that they're going to be, an okay team, because when you make this move, you by far are taking a step back, because you cannot rely on Anthony Davis to carry the offensive load in the way that you could Luka. And it's not like you're going to have this massive like production, right? Like, you're just not going to get that from AD. I guess the president or their GM comes out and says, "Oh, I believe defense wins championships." Um, uh, I mean, yeah, sure, but like, this isn't the NFL. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that like defense doesn't matter, because we know it does, but you're getting every other play effort from Anthony. Like, if you want a shutdown, like lockdown guy, like, I'm not exactly sure. Like, okay, let me take a step back. Anthony Davis, when he wants to, is an otherworldly defender. Like, there's no doubt about that. But what you have to be concerned about with Anthony is, like, he sometimes doesn't care even in the playoffs. Like, I mean, he gets sunned by like other big dudes in the West. Like, there's no way around that. And so for me, this is a trade. This is a trade that there's just no way that there are people who are saying Dallas won it. I mean, the only thing that Dallas really can say is like, wow, we weren't going to re-sign Luka and we didn't walk away with nothing. Like, that's the consolation prize. Like, we didn't walk away with nothing. But Anthony Davis is not going to be a top player in the league if he has not been that by now. He's absolutely on the way out of his prime. He's won a championship, and guys like that, they might win championships and then just be like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm just here to collect this check, which, hey, I respect it. I don't count anybody's money, but yeah. So would love to hear more. I see another thing in the chat here. What do I think was going through Dallas's mind to make this trade? Like I said, I think somebody was smoking something. That's what I'll say. No, I think sometimes in life, you just get sick of dealing with someone. Like, they might be really talented, right? Like, you might work with someone who's super talented, but they come with like a bunch of like extra annoyances, and like, you might ask them to change, but they are not going to change because they know they're just that good. And I think what happened probably with Dallas, which I can understand, like, on, an interpersonal level, like, we're just sick of dealing with like his bullshit. But at the end of the day, the thing in sports is all about winning. Like, I'm sorry that you're uncomfortable in the front office. You're uncomfortable going to the NBA finals. Like, you're uncomfortable, like, probably going pretty deep in the playoffs again this year with a better like front court. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, just wanted to come on here and just talk about like the magnitude of this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what makes you push a guy. Like, I don't know if you're Dallas and you've been trying to push this kid to get in shape for like 4 years, or whatever it might be, right? He comes in out of shape. Like, I understand, like, what is it that we have to do in order to get this kid in shape if he doesn't already want to be in shape? Well, you have now probably unlocked and like woken the giant, right? Like, this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is like humiliating for Luka. Like, he couldn't work it out in his first marriage. So he's getting like this bad and this public of a divorce that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I was Luka, I would be absolutely pissed. I would be humiliated. I would have a fire under me like never seen before. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting. I think Dallas did okay. I think they're going to be fine, but I don't know. I just can't remember a time in my life where it was okay to walk away from one of the best players we've ever seen in our life. I'm not sure we'll see it again. Appreciate you stopping by.